Welcome to the Arsenal Show. We are live, and I'm joined by Steve K, Melvin Marks, and Jerome Marks. How's everyone doing?
Fine, thanks.
Very good, mate. Big week, big games.
It's just not any week. This is the biggest week in 7 years. 7 years we've been away. 7 years, and it hurts. Bad luck. I don't know who smashed that mirror, but it's over now. The curse is done. We're back in the Champions League, and it's the real European music, not that rubbish. None of that no more. It's the.
Do you know what?
That one.
Do you know what though? I've been trying to sing it all day, but I don't know if it's like you. I still get in trouble getting past the first part. You know, it's the Santa, and then when I get to the next bit, I'm like,
that's because we've got 8-year-old boys, Steve. Our voices broke years ago, mate. We ain't hitting those.
I want to see.
We ain't hitting those.
I want to know it all.
But
I can now,
it.
Gentlemen, I can now go to my Thursday night ballet classes. So I'm happy again.
Oh, there we go. Happy days. Happy days.
Spursy night.
Ballet classes. Spursy night. Well, yeah, it was Arsenal night for 7 years, but we're out of it. Out of the gutter. And yes, since the fire now, it's actually it's going to be harder. It's going to be a lot harder. But we've been given a group which some may say is a group that is doable. We should be able to get through that group. We should be able to get through the group as long as we don't underestimate anyone and we put the points on the board early. But first and foremost, let's get on to the Everton game. Steve, you was there on Sunday. Melvin, Jerome. Melvin, we'll start with you. What were your thoughts on the Everton victory? 1-0 victory, clean sheet. What was your thoughts?
I thought, again, it's fine margins, isn't it? They never, when I say they didn't really look like scoring, but you know that they might have done because that's how football works. We've been there before. So I wasn't completely happy. I thought they were there for the taking. I don't mean just beating them. I mean, being 2 or 3-0 up at half time. We just weren't direct enough. We didn't want to gamble enough. When the ball went across a few times, we just stood there. It wasn't good enough. You know, to all that possession, and really, I think the first half, they had about one attack. I mean, it was ridiculous. And we didn't take any advantage of that at all. Sorry. So I was a bit disappointed.
I don't remember Everton being a threat at all, even throughout the whole game.
They had one shot that bounced over the bar, I think, and another one where the centre forward, that 70 million centre forward that everyone said we're going to buy, what's his name? The England centre forward had come on, injury-prone one. Yeah, he hit a cross shot. I don't know if it was a cross or a shot. He doesn't even know. But these things, you've seen it before. They go in sometimes. They hit someone on the back of the head or just skews out of control. And we should have had more. How many shots did we have on target? I don't think we had that many. Seriously,
we didn't.
For that amount of
we didn't.
In their last third, we had very little shots, and that was disappointing as well. So there's a few people's performances that weren't quite up to it. But before the game, I was like praying that it get something. You know, would I have taken a draw? Possibly. I know they're a crap team. I didn't realise how bad they were till we saw them on Sunday. But yeah, the 3 points and the performance were two different things for me.
All right, Jerome. 1-0 victory against Everton at Goodison Park. Not beating them since 2017. Some would say it's a bit of a bogey team away from home. Good victory. Should have done better. What's your thoughts on it?
Everyone would have taken that result before the game.
Yeah.
So you can't knock that. The performance, it wasn't as exciting as what we want. As what we want to see. As my dad said, hardly created too many clear-cut chances. But we had so much possession, but just not a lot of cutting edge, I suppose. It looked like we were sort of playing in second gear, just playing keep ball, really. But when the score's 0-0 or 1-0, you're just like a corner away from dropping 2 points. Their main threat seemed to be winning free kicks in their own half and Pickford launching it from the halfway line. That was sort of their attacking tactic. very, very fine margins, but you can't knock the result. So, yeah.
Did you feel at any time that Everton were going to score? I know it can happen. It only takes a second to score, but was there any worry that from their attacks that they were going to score?
They had 0 from open play, apart from when the guy went down in the box in the first half. They had nothing from open play, but it just takes like a long ball. It don't take a lot to score a goal. So no, I wasn't on edge, because we weren't hanging on. It wasn't that type of game. But you're just like I said, you're one shot, one cross away from dropping 2 points.
Is this just PTSD though? Because if we actually look back, it wasn't even. We didn't take the lead in those games. We bar the West Ham. Oh, so to be fair, we did West Ham and Liverpool games. So by the end of the season, all the games previous to that, we take the lead, we win the games. And I think that's going back for about 2 seasons now. When we've taken the lead, we've won the game.
There was a game last season, Kieran, that we were all over this team. It was ridiculous. 1-0 up, cigars were coming out, and we drew 1-1. Could have lost it, Southampton away. That's another. They had one amazing move, and then they scored. Very good goal. We were at fault a little bit, but it was still a very good goal, and we just couldn't get into third tier. And we shocked. This was away from home. Forget about the home one. That was different. That was where we should have been 4 or 5 up in that game. Southampton away.
All right, Steve. What's your thoughts on the victory of the weekend? 1-0 victory against Everton. Clean sheet. Talk to me.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with nearly everything that the boys have already said. I mean, the most important thing is that we got the 3 points, and we haven't won there in 5 or 6 games. And going there, I was quite worried about, just really for that reason, because football has this way of just turning up these scenarios where certain teams you just can't seem to beat. So we got the 3 points. We won 1-0. That's the main. That was the main thing. But performance-wise, we certainly wasn't direct enough. We didn't make enough chances, and at times we was very, very sloppy in possession, giving the ball away far too much. I don't know why that was. Up until we scored the goal. I was watching the game and I was feeling that up to then it was probably our worst performance of the season so far. But at the end of the day, it's like what you've just said there. There's been plenty of games last season where we've gone, smashed it, played teams off the park, gone 2-3-0 up, and then threw it away. Like Melvin said, was it Southampton, West Ham? We threw it away. Liverpool, we threw it away. A couple of other teams we threw it away. So if we're going to go away like this and win 1-0 and come away, then I'm a happy man. But I do think it was sloppy. Everton were poor. I thought they was very poor. I think Raya had to make 1 save during the whole game, which wasn't really. I mean, it was just shot straight at him, just like a pea roller along the ground, and he just got down to it. That was the only sort of shot of note that I can think of. But look, I mean, it's been a good start to the season for me. 5 games, 4 wins, 1 point. We're only going to get better. We're not going to get any worse than what we're seeing at the moment. Or worse is probably the wrong word. We know that there's plenty more to come. So yeah, performances on the day. Some players certainly could have been a lot better, but in the end, get in, get out, bogey grand, 1-0, 3 points. We move on.
Jerome, Trossard came on after Martinelli injury was. Hopefully, it's not too bad. Is he earned his place for the next run of games, whether Martinelli's back or not?
Well, he seems to be next in line, doesn't he, for that left wing place? it's funny. I think did Sky give him man of the match? They might have done for the goal. Yeah, it was that award was more for match winner more than man of the match. Because when he came on, he wasn't.
He was quite sloppy when he came on.
Yeah, like the ball was getting stuck under his feet. But that might have just been sort of, coming into the game so early, perhaps. So we'll cut him a bit of slack for that. But yeah, like he's next in line, so I'm sure he'll be starting if Martinelli's out. I can't see him starting anyone else, to be honest.
Melvin, do you feel like Trossard's earned his chance for a little run in the team now, whether Martinelli's injured or not?
I think, well, I don't know if Martinelli's fit, I don't know how he gets in the team, but but at the moment, he earns it for his goal, nothing else. His performance was quite poor. I mean, he was on for a long time, remember? And he might have been one of those players that you bring him on as sub and want to take him off because he was all over the place, slipping and sliding, not controlling the ball. Listen, he gives 100% and he's got talent. But if you notice the last 20 minutes or so, whenever he was starting to make those little runs, controlling the ball, cutting inside, doing some nice passing, bringing other players in to the game she's very good at. So that definitely improved. But the first 20 minutes or so, or half hour, he was shocking. But that happens to players, I suppose. He obviously, before you bring a sub on, you'll think to yourself, well, I'm coming on after 70 minutes or whatever, so I just get myself mentally ready for this. But after, how was it, 20 minutes he came on?
Yeah, it weren't long. After
you don't expect
that goal, wasn't it?
Exactly. You don't expect to come on after 20 minutes, do you? So all of a sudden you go, right, I'm on, I better. So as Jerome said, give him a bit of slack. But he is a very talented player. He's two-footed. He's not frightened to have a shot. And I think he's one of our, though he only scored a couple of goals for us, I think he's one of our better people at shooting, because some of the others, I think, let us down on Sunday, which we might come to later. I don't know.
Steve, Trossard, he's been relatively patient. He got his start against Fulham, which didn't go too well in that 9 position, number 10 position. But with the form of the wingers, I wouldn't say poor. I think poor is harsh. I'd say it's quite patchy so far this season. Do you think Trossard has earned a start?
I think you can start him in certain games. I mean, if you're talking about if Martinelli was fit against Tottenham, or if he is fit against Tottenham, I wouldn't start him against Tottenham, for instance. I think that's a game where Martinelli's literally caused havoc over the playing Spurs in the past. So, but other than that, if Trossard's ever playing on that left hand side, I mean, I've not got a problem with him. I mean, he's got immense ability. We've seen him on that left hand side before. He's probably better at cutting inside than what Martinelli's more of a winger, isn't he? He's more of sort of an old-fashioned winger who gets to the byline, gets the ball across, dribbles round. Trossard's a little bit different when he plays off that left. He's not like Martinelli. He's more liable to cut in on his right foot, play a through ball, hit a ball in the corner. He's also very good, Trossard, where he can switch wings. He can go over to the right hand side, just like he did for that goal, which was an absolute incredible goal that he scored. I mean, the technique for that finish was incredible. He's got something in his locker that Martinelli hasn't got, where he can just switch. I mean, against Everton, I gave Trossard my man of the match. I thought he was good on Everton. It's funny how people see things differently. I do agree he started there. I said in the post match on Sunday that I thought as soon as he come on, he give the ball away. But after that, I thought he was fantastic. The way he was picking that, started moving into that midfield, and and started just like bombing through that midfield and just running through them like players weren't there. And as the game went on, I thought he was our best player by a mile. That's just, but that was just my opinion. And then he sort of finished it off with that absolute world class goal which it was a world-class goal. But yeah, I think certain games, Trossard, if he's playing, then he's definitely deserved his place. And for me, he has got more about him than Martinelli. He's got more to his game. But Martinelli's probably, we do like him having that. He sort of fits the side more playing than Martinelli because he plays on that left. He runs at the wingers and, he can get round and he's got this incredible ability of running at players and doing his stuff from there. But, Trossard, I think he deserved his start. Whether Martinelli would be fit, if he is fit, I'd still want to play him against Spurs because I think Martinelli is the type of player we need against Spurs, basically because he's tore him to ribbons in the past. So I'd play him for that.
Yeah, we'll get onto the Spurs fixture very soon. Jerome, we saw some comments from Mikel Arteta where he admits to considering changing a goalkeeper during the game before, and this was after dropping Aaron Ramsdale to the bench. The boss said he regrets not trusting his instinct to change goalkeepers during the game in the past after dropping Aaron Ramsdale on Sunday. And he explained that during the game, there was twice in his career that he regrets not changing 2 occasions. I felt that after 60 minutes and 85th minutes of 2 games in this period to change goalkeepers in the moment, I didn't do it. I didn't change. I didn't have the courage to do it, but I'm able to take a wing or a striker off and put a centre back on to play 5 at the back and hold the result. We drew those games, so I was unhappy. Jerome, it's a new thing. Mikel Arteta is definitely one to rock the boat and try new things. Rotating the goalkeeper in the middle of the match, is that something that would worry you, or if it needs to be done, it needs to be done?
It's very strange, isn't it? And it's something that we never really see. Like we're not comfortable with that thought. We're comfortable with. I know he was comparing it to the outfield players, but centre forwards, wingers, it's accepted, isn't it, that they get taken off during the game. With the keeper, that's something very new. I heard something earlier that if you believe what Arteta says about he had a couple of games where he wanted to change the keeper, someone suggested that maybe the Fulham game this season, when we went 2-1 up and they went down to 10 men, maybe to have a bit more control, they possibly bringing Raya on for that game could have been one that he had in mind.
I automatically assumed it was like for penalties in the cup, the Europa League or something.
Yeah, no, I think he means more about controlling the game when it comes to the keepers. I mean, he's made like radical moves before. I mean, he played Ethan Nweri last season, 15-year-old. He brought him on. That was like total left field, wasn't it? So you wouldn't put him against him doing it. But if you're that keeper that comes off, like I said, it's not something that's really accepted. So you might dent that person's confidence, and it might cause them a bit of embarrassment for a keeper to get subbed off. Like keepers don't like it. Even when that Kepa got
League Cup, wasn't it?
It was the cup final.
Yeah,
they wanted to
that was in Europe, weren't it? Where Kepa refused to come off.
I think it was the Carling Cup final.
Was it the Carling Cup final as well?
Penalties were going to be taken.
Ricky Cabello.
He refused to sort of come off. Like goalies just don't like it. If the camera zoomed in on the keeper when he's going to get taken off, you wouldn't see, you'd see a really unhappy face.
I jump in there. For me personally, it's not a case of I don't like it. If there's an agreement before, like if I was good at saving penalties, yeah. So if there was another goalkeeper, yeah, and 10 minutes to go, 5 minutes to go, they said we're going to bring Kieran on for penalty shootouts, I wouldn't expect that goalkeeper to be pissed off because he ain't nowhere near as good at saving penalties against as I am. So if there's an agreement beforehand with the players, with the manager, that if it gets this time, we're going to change over, I don't think there's a problem with the goalkeeper.
What about if it's not penalties?
As long as it's communicated. It's only because it's new. As long as it's communicated Like, because what for me, yeah, goalkeepers, it's a lonely position, and what you don't want to do is have a goalkeeper fill in the blanks. You don't want the goalkeeper to be taken out, yeah, and then they're second guessing whether they're taken out because it's a bad performance. If you're taken out because it's a tactical change and he's better at his footwork than you are, and he wants to keep possession, he wants to use a sweeper keeper, there's no qualms about that because I know that I'm going in that next game. I'm not being dropped because I've been playing bad, and that's the thing.
Kieran, can I don't know if you're going to ask this, so sorry if you are.
Go on.
Some people are suggesting that Raya got brought in for this game because he's more comfortable with the ball at his feet and he's better at playing it out from the back. He doesn't just hoof it aimlessly, perhaps as much as Ramsdale. But that's
which, if you hoof it, it's just going to play into Everton's hands.
Yes, it'll come straight back. So in that scenario, Arteta preferred Raya.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, what would be a scenario? We haven't seen a lot of Raya, obviously, but what would be a scenario where Arteta would prefer Ramsdale? What does Arteta think Ramsdale Raya?
Good question. Good question. And I'm going to go first on that one. North London derby. Like there's no other goalkeeper that I will play in that North London derby bar Aaron Ramsdale because he knows it. He's been there. He understands the emotion of the situation. Like he knows the occasion. That game's made for him. That's where I'll play Aaron Ramsdale.
Okay,
Melvin.
What you asking me? The same question.
What is there a game in the league where you think it's suited to Aaron Ramsdale over Raya?
I'm going to be very tough on Ramsdale. No, apart from perhaps Spurs, but people learn quickly. He'll soon know what it's like to play against Spurs. Raya, I've seen him play a few times. This goalkeeper, and very impressed. And what I was impressed with on Sunday was he's not a normal 6'3", 4 goalkeeper. But he looked very competent in the air, catching it as well. He looked he jumps and he, like some of the old-fashioned centre forwards, Kieran, they used to jump and like hang in the air. And he's got that ability just to hang there for that split second longer and get right up. So it's just not a shame. It's great we got Ramsdale, but I'd love to see a lot more of Raya. I really would.
Kieran, he's got clean hands, hasn't he, Raya? Like the ball sort of the ball sticks to him.
Yeah, no, he looks good. I'm not backing down on Aaron Ramsdale.
The Spurs fine. That's fine.
It's not happening. Steve, do you think there's a game that's suited more for Aaron Ramsdale over David Raya?
Well, yeah, I mean, I agree with Melvin a little bit, when he said that, he knows, the top, what it's like to play, against Tottenham. But for me, if I was Aaron Ramsdale, that won't fill me with great hope of playing many games for Arsenal because there's only 2 times you play Tottenham this season. So, if that's the only reason why we're playing Aaron Ramsdale, then...
but why would you drop Aaron Ramsdale?
Why would you? I don't think it's a dropped thing. People keep using the word dropped. And I don't like, I mean, maybe it is dropped, but I don't like the word dropped because I like to look at our club now as a squad, as a family, and everyone's all for one and one for all. And, and we rotate and, we want to go and win trophies, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Maybe I'm living in a world where these things, don't exist, but it's, as a fan, it's what I would like. But yeah, look, Raya was just filled me with confidence, against Everton, and I get what Mikel Arteta's saying, and like you said, Kieran, as long as they know when someone's going to get changed or when someone's not going to get changed or if they're going to get brought off and what could happen during the game, I don't see any wrong with it. It stands out a country mile he's better with his feet than Ramsdale. Even after just 1 or 2 games, you can really see why Mikel Arteta has brought him. I'm not a goalkeeper, Q, and you're the best one to, you know, to answer these questions. You know, goalkeepers is a you know a position where, you know, it's unlike the rest, you know, the players on the pitch, but he just filled me with confidence. You know, the way he comes out with the ball. I mean, it's like a lot of people kept saying, "Oh, you know, he can't catch the ball as good as Ramsdale because he's not tall enough." It's nothing to. I mean, again, I'm not a goalkeeper. I thought it was. I mean, it's all about timing, isn't it? It's all about the spring. It's all about, you know, how much you push off the ground and at the right point. And that, you know, that's nothing to do with whether you're 6'4" or 5'10". You know, and so I didn't understand that nonsense that I was hearing from some pundits. But I like the idea. I don't think we'll get to see the fact that, you know, Raya will come if Ramsdale's in goal, or Raya will come on and, you know, he'll see out the game. But I get what he's saying, because you can see the way, like, if you're getting bombarded in the last 10, 15 minutes by the other team and you want to slow the game down, you know, and you want to pass it round the back and waste time and ping it. You know, if you've got a sweeper keeper like David Raya, who looked as confident as he did against Everton, just passing it to Zinchenko, passing it back, playing it through the midfield, popping up in the middle of the centre circle, it's like having another player on the pitch. So I haven't seen that from Ramsdale. He's not bad with his feet, but he's not, you know, he's not as good as Raya. It worries me about Ramsdale because a lot of people are saying, well, he's a better shot stopper. But most goalkeepers are good shot stoppers, aren't they? We've seen Raya playing for Brentford. Not anymore,
they're not, Steve. Unana.
Yeah, but Raya is.
Raya's a good shot stopper. Very good shot stopper.
Raya is.
There's a weakness
in
but
Raya
game.
is, isn't he?
Yeah, that was saying. There's a weakness in Raya's game that Ramsdale won't have. And what we haven't seen it yet.
Piers? What is it?
We ain't seen it yet. So I've heard it's long shots, but we haven't seen it yet. It's like we've seen him in the Everton game. He looked very good. It's a game where he didn't have anything to do in terms of with his goalkeeping. His footwork, sweeper keeper looked very, very good. Looked very assured, very confident. I like the way he claimed it. I like the way he was commanding of his area. Very important for a goalkeeper. There's a lot of things going in his favour. We've only seen him one game. Like we need to see him.
But we have to assume that he's a good shot stopper. We would have thought he's a good shot stopper.
Yeah, no doubt.
A goalkeeper who's he has to be there. You know, people are saying like, well, we haven't seen him against Everton. He had no shots to save. Well, my answer to those people would be, well, we've seen him in the Premiership for the last 2 years or whatever it is, and he didn't half save some shots. He's a very, very good. He's an excellent goalkeeper. So I don't get that. You know, the fact that, he ain't been tested yet. He's been tested in the Premier League all last season, and he come out with one of the top stats in the league. So I didn't understand that one.
Yeah, no doubt. He's a very good goalkeeper. Very, very good. But there will be weaknesses in his game, which Aaron Ramsdale won't have. Like even the manager says, it's one has attributes the other doesn't have. So
yeah.
I think he'll still have Aaron Ramsdale as his number one. I see. I think the reason he's brought us to this game wasn't just the fact that it might suit him. I think it would be more for the fact that you don't want to take him into a Champions League game. Not play the game, not play with any of his defence.
Yeah,
it just makes sense.
Yeah.
To give him a game beforehand. There was no cup game. There's been no Carabao Cup. The time has not been great on that. But look, we're in a situation where we've got the two best goalkeepers in the league in terms of a pair. There's not anyone that's close to that. And if, like last season and the season before, Aaron Ramsdale gets injured, David Raya's there. Same vice versa. If David Raya gets injured, Aaron Ramsdale's there. So we're not going to... The drop-off won't be anything like what we've had with Matty Turner, although a very good shot stopper. He's not got the footwork, even to an Aaron Ramsdale level, which is bare minimum you need. So yeah, it's very interesting the way that Mikel Arteta says it, as we said, it's something completely new. We've not seen it. You might expect it in a cup game with there's penalties coming, but to see it in a league game, it'd be very interesting to see if he does it in a game, and if he does do it in a game we do concede, the reaction from that, because it's a risk, and I'm sure it will pay off sometimes. But then bringing a goalkeeper on with 10 minutes to go and then they're cold again. There's probably a reason why people haven't done it.
Yeah.
So now onto the Champions League. It's PSV tomorrow. First time in 7 years. Melvin, when you hear that music, are you watching the game? Anyone going?
I'm going.
You're
I'm
going.
going with Craig.
Melvin,
going with Craig,
you're going. First time in 7 years. The Champions League music. What's your thoughts? You excited? Looking forward to it?
Yeah, I'm quite excited, but I'm not at the 95% excited. I'm 70% excited because
why 70?
Because it's a long way to go. We just got there. We've got, I'll be honest with you, I'm more excited about the Spurs game, to be quite honest. Right? Sorry to say that, the big build up, but no, I'm delighted, as Olio used to say, delighted that we've got there. I listen to the music, very nice. I want to. They're playing very well. James Rowe, I speak to from time to time, has been telling me how good they are. Though they got rid of a couple of their best players, Gads, whatever it is, to Liverpool, the forward.
Gakpo and Xavi Simons.
Yeah,
Sangari as well, I think.
Did he go as well?
He's at Forest now.
Oh yeah, he did, didn't he? But they brought in Noah Lang. They got some. Was it Ricardo Pepe? They brought in.
He said they're really playing well and they're a strong team. So we'll see what happens there. Yeah, I'm excited. Of course I am. Can't wait. But it's the first game of 6. Get over that, and then when it's knockout, then you do. It's all of a sudden. The excitement does go up a notch or two. For me.
What are you hoping to see? You hoping to see a good performance, or just get the points on the board?
Points on the board, and you listen. We're good points on the board, and if it's a good performance, it's a bonus, because we haven't hit the ground running. I'm afraid, and it's going to change it up a little bit. I'm not saying weaken it, but it's going to change it up. So that's going to take a little bit of, I think, the boys' togetherness away for the first quarter of an hour or so. Mm-hmm. I'll be very happy to get the 3 points and play well. I'll take that all day. It'll definitely be brilliant. Say brilliant for Sunday, as I say.
All right. Jerome, back in the Champions League, PSV, they've caused us trouble before. Xavi Simons was the one, probably the main thorn in our side previously. He's not there. But yeah, glad to be back. Excited.
Yeah. What I hope is that the old expression that they play the game and not the occasion, because it's very easy for the players to build up all this nervous energy with in their head the Champions League and we're playing in the big boys tournament now, but really we're playing a team that we played in the Europa League last season and whose left back is Patrick Van Aanholt, who's 33, used to play for Palace. And that's
Is he still only 33? What the hell? He's been around forever.
Yeah, they got Luke de Jong's their main striker. He's 33.
Yeah, Newcastle.
Yeah.
So
he ripped us a new one last time. He tore us to pieces in PSV.
He did cause us a bit of trouble, didn't he? Yeah, he did.
But
yeah,
I think
he
did. I think we probably played a very mix and match lineup in those games. And yeah, I just hope they don't play nervous. They don't start nervous, Arsenal. They're building it up too much in their head. Because really, if you look at the teams on paper, like, we're different. I know I'm biased, but we're different class to them. So, excited to see us play. I'm sure they'll be super excited. All the players. Like, I don't know if any, apart from obviously Jesus, well, a few of them, Jesus, Zinchenko, and Havertz. I don't think any of them have really played in the Champions League before. So, I'm sure they can't wait to play in it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the knockout round is when there's the extra added pressure, and hopefully there won't be too much pressure on them. tomorrow night, or they won't play like they've got a lot of pressure.
Yeah. Steve, do you think the Champions League tie will be much different from the Europa League tie?
Yeah. I mean, for me as a fan, it's the elite European competition, isn't it? You know, it's the elite one. You know, the Europa League. You know, when we're in that, you know, I'm somebody who always wants to win it. I'm someone who always wants to do well in it and go as far as we can in it. But this is the Champions League. You know, this is the best teams in Europe. As I've already said, you know, this is the elite European competition with the best teams on the planet in it. So I'm very excited. I can't wait. I don't know if I'm one of the few or not, but from the people I've spoken to, I seem to be at the moment one of the few that I don't want him messing about with this, play a few of the fringe players and play a few of the other ones. And I want to play a strong side tomorrow night. You know, we've got Tottenham on Sunday. You know, these footballers are like this. You know, we've got another four days before we play Tottenham. Don't want to hear all about this. We just save a few for Tottenham. You know, these are professional athletes. You know, I can't be done with that. I know there's the argument about players need minutes, but I don't know. I hear that, but I want to get some points on the board. I don't want to have to go to here and then get a point and then slip up in Holland, which could be likely.
Yeah,
I want to play a strong team and get 3 points, no messing about, and then after 60 minutes, then change it. You know, bring a few of the fringe players on. They've got good players. You know, I know they've got rid of a few, but you've already mentioned Noah Lang there. We've mentioned Luke de Jong, who I've already said, you know, was literally tore us apart the last time we played them. They've got a guy called Joey Veerman who plays in the midfield, who's getting like all sorts of plaudits all over Europe at the moment. Bakayoko plays for PSV. You know, going forward, this team is a force. Really going forward, they are a dangerous football side, and you know we're after going to be at our best. You know, defensively, especially. You know, to keep them out. I wouldn't be surprised if they get a goal. So we're going to need a strong side. But I am excited. I can't wait, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
It looks like Martinelli's going to be out. Jerome, what would your starting lineup be for this game?
God. What change will I make to the weekend? Shall we leave the goalie? Because that's
No, you can't have that. You can't. It's the main position. You can't. Should we just leave the hardest pick out?
I'll play Carl Hein in goal.
What's your name? Starmer?
No, I'd get Ramsdale back in goal. I would play definitely Zinchenko left back. I'd play Gabriel Saliba. Contemplating Tommy Asu, but I'm sure he'll play Ben White. Rice will play. Havertz will probably play. Odegaard will play, and then it'll be Saka, Jesus, and Trossard.
All right, Melvin, what team would you play? Not necessarily what the manager would play. What would you play?
I would play the team that Jerome just put out. Definitely.
Sticking with Ramsdale in goal.
Yep. I don't upset you, Kieran. Yeah, no,
I'm not upset. I'm not upset. GK Union, all right. Yeah. We're together.
No, genuinely, I would play him. Yeah, I would play him. You want to, if you're going to start using, I'm not sure he will, but if you're going to start using both goalkeepers for the season, you've got to play them both. You can't not play one goalkeeper for 6 games and expect him to come on and do the business. I play Ramsdale. I would have loved to see Tommy at right back. Zinchenko's got to play left back, the 2 centre halves together. The midfield, as Jerome said. It could be, though I didn't think he had as good a game as other pundits. So I'm not a pundit, as the pundits thought. I would have perhaps tried to start with Vieira rather than Odegaard. Try and give him a little bit of time off, or start with Odegaard and bring Vieira on. But other than that, no, I agree with Jerome's team. I think that's fine, and we'll have quite a bit on the bench as well.
What would you'd like to swap out Tomiyasu for Ben White?
Yeah.
What is it that Tomiyasu is bringing over Ben White?
I think he's a better, wider defender. He's a better fullback. Full stop. I think he can attack just like Ben White does. Ben White does very well going forward. For a centre half, he attacks very well wide with Saka. He does that. But I just think Tommy's got it all. I think we just bypass him all the time, Tommy, like not picking him. I think he's really, really good, and we really forget how good this guy has been and can be. I know he's got injured, but I thought the guy was amazing when we first got him, and he was a bit unlucky with a couple of injuries. One particular, strangely enough, in Europe. I'm just a lover of that type of footballer. He just, for me, he does it.
Do you think that his injuries has played a part in him not being the first team regular over Ben White?
Definitely. And Ben White is very, very consistent.
Yeah.
So it's very hard for the manager to go, well, I've got to pull Ben White off tonight for this match. I'm not picking him because X, Y, Z. He hasn't quite been up to it. He can't do that because he's got a 7.5 out of 10 most games, Ben White, hasn't he? If not a bit more in some.
Yeah, and it's one of those things. You bring in Tommy, you play for 3 games, he buckles up and he's out for 2 months, and then it's the case of not being reliable. And I think that is what's undone a few players that have now either left or are seen as the second option. Steve, go on.
Ben White plays every game, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It's just, I know maybe we don't like saying it, but to keep Tomiyasu sort of making sure he's ready for when he's going to play, you got to play him at some point. Otherwise, he's going to come into games having gone 8 or 9 games, hardly playing any minutes, and he's going to come in cold. I'd probably would play Tommy. I'd give Ben White a bit of a rest, and he'll be well up for the weekend's game against Spurs, just to keep minutes in Tomiyasu's legs, because we saw what happened when players come in. They haven't played a lot of games. It's hard to get into the swing of things.
It does happen. It happens. We saw it with Zinchenko when he's been out injured for a little while. We see it with Tomiyasu when he's been out for a little while. They come back, they're a little bit rusty. It takes a game to get in it, and then they're back in the swing of things. Steve, what would your starting lineup be? Not Mikel Arteta's. What would your starting lineup be against PSV?
Raya in goal. Then I'd have Ben White at right back. Then I'd have Gabriel, Saliba, Zinchenko, Rice, Havertz, Odegaard, Trossard, Jesus, and Saka.
You've got Havertz back in the team. Are you putting him back in the team because of his European experience? Yeah.
Mainly that. I mean, look, I like Havertz. I think he's going to be, a good Arsenal player. I think he's going to come good. I think he's going to prove a lot of people wrong. I thought he was very good when he came on against Everton in his little cameo appearance. I thought he shored us up, straight away in that midfield, and he got forward on occasions, and he passed the ball off well. There's probably a lot of Arsenal fans waiting for him to do a pass that was wrong, so they could all slaughter him, but he never. He was very good. But the main reason I want him to play is because of his Champions League experience. He's been there, he's done it, he's got the T-shirt. He's better defensively than what Fabio Vieira is, and I believe in Champions League matches you will need that at times, because they don't just, PSV won't come. They're not the type of side that's going to sit back. They've got very, very good attacking players. So you're definitely going to need someone like Kai Havertz there, who's also very good at going forward and popping up on the right wing, on the left wing. Probably a lot more versatile than what Vieira is. So, for me, I think he should be guaranteed to come in and start. I would start him anyway.
All right. And Jerome, what's your score predictions for the clash tomorrow?
I think we'll win 2-1. That's my prediction.
All right, Jerome has gone for a 2-1 victory. Melvin, what's your score prediction for tomorrow?
2-0.
2-0. And Steve, what is your score prediction for tomorrow's game?
I think they'll definitely score. I hope they don't. I think they will. 3-1.
3-1.
3-1.
Right, Jerome's gone for a 2-1 victory against PSV. Melvin's gone for a 2-0 victory and a clean sheet. 2 clean sheets in a row would be very impressive for Arsenal. And Steve has gone for a 3-1 victory against PSV Eindhoven. Big game tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. Make sure you join us for the post-match reaction of that one. And finally, the big one. Sunday, North London derby. Afternoon, early evening kickoff. Steve, massive game. Biggest game of the season so far. I know that we had the Man United game, but this is the real one. Tottenham versus Arsenal, or Arsenal versus Tottenham. Well, looking forward to this one now. What a week it is.
I'm one of these fans who just finds it very difficult to look forward to these games.
I can't enjoy
like
it. I'm with you. I hate it.
Yeah,
I love it, but I hate it.
I love it. If we're 2-0 up after 20 minutes, 25 minutes, then I can, sit back. And even then, I'm thinking, if they get a goal and they might get another one, and they could, I won't enjoy this game like watching it. I'm excited for it. But look, you look at all these different scenarios, you think, when Kane's played for Tottenham, when we play at the Emirates, we've got a great record. And even when Kane's been in the side, we've still rolled them over. You think it's just going to be typical, isn't it? Kane's not playing. They come into the side. They're on a bit of a roll. And, they're going to get a lucky goal or something, or a penalty or something like that. But, yeah, it's going to be tough. Part of me just feels that, look, if taking away all the nervousness, taking away it, just looking at the game, right, and trying to look at it from just that side of it, taking away all my nerves, I think really we could actually go and sort of win this game really well. I mean, Tottenham have got a different style to them these days. I think like Ange doesn't know the meaning of the word sort of like hold back. They're very attacking. He said in the past, all I know is going forward, going at teams, attacking teams. And even against like Sheffield United and teams like that, and Manchester United, that is sort of the way they play. They attack. That's their game. And I feel that, if they do that against Arsenal, I think we could, if we're on it, we could like tear them apart, because that will just play right into our hands, if they want to attack us. That would be a disaster for them to do. But Big Ange says, I don't know how to defend. I'll put my hands up. I'm someone who just knows one way how to play. Well, if you do that, I really genuinely think that, we could be whacking 3 or 4 past them. Because really, look, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, look, let's give them the plaudits. I'm one of the people who does like their manager, who talks well, seems a top guy. But I mean, they haven't really played anybody at the minute, have they? They've played like, the hardest team they've played is Man United, and at the moment they're like in the right state, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? They can't beat anybody to save their lives. So I'm excited, mate. I'm excited that the fact that I feel that we can like, this is one that we could like rack up a few goals in. And this could be our sort of lift off for the season, this one. So fingers crossed anyway.
All right. Jerome, Tottenham have had a good start under Ange Postecoglou. But as Steve has alluded to, the toughest game they've played so far this season is Man United, winning 2-0. Beat Bournemouth away from home 2-0. Got knocked out of the Carabao Cup by Fulham on penalties.
Yeah.
Beat Burnley 5-2 and beat Sheffield United on the weekend after 2 late goals. Do you think the hype is a bit over the top? you think they're just excited at seeing some expansive attacking football, or do you think Spurs are a serious threat?
Well, they're definitely coming into this game super confident.
A bit too confident for my liking.
But I always
Mr. Son.
I always take what the Spurs fans say with a pinch of salt, because they're a different breed, aren't they? So it's
They are.
They're a different breed. Look, you're always worried about these games because they're horrible to watch. You're on edge the whole game. You can't enjoy it unless you do what happened. I think a few seasons ago. I think we went 3-0 up at half time or something. And in that scenario, then it's a bit easier to sort of endure. The atmosphere is going to be electric at the ground. We need to knock them down a peg or two, basically. We're hearing all this good stuff about their manager, but I don't want to sort of hear him speak just in case I like him. So whenever he's been, I don't bother listening. I sort of turn it over or watch something else.
I've been dragged in, mate. I've tried exactly.
Steve's been hypnotised.
And it was like being hypnotised by Angie's sort of like, being so suave and
Save yourself, Steve. Put the volume down when you speak, so you can't hear what he's saying. So then you won't like it.
Yeah.
Simple. It saves it.
He talks like how we talk. He says it how it is, which is what you love, really, isn't it?
Yeah. But it's very, very exciting. Just hope we show up, basically. I hope we show up. 'Cause if we show up, we'll win that game.
Is there any worries based on our form about that game?
Look, we're not being too convincing in terms of score lines, are we? We're not beating teams by 2, 3s, and 4s. It's just the odd goal, really. So that's the main concern, really.
Mel, Tottenham had a good start. Jerome's saying we need to take them down a peg or two. Is this the weekend that you think Arsenal will take Tottenham down a peg or two? Or do you think it'll be a scrambled win?
Well, I hope it's not another Man United type game where we're doing all right. We're not actually doing anything. And all of a sudden, a mistake is made or a bit of brilliance by the other team. We find ourselves one down. We've done that too many times. We've just got to play our own game. I'm not saying don't show them any respect. You've obviously shown us, but don't show them too much respect. We've got to just go at them. If we go at them, their defence ain't all that. Believe me, it's not. I watched them against Sheffield United, and I know their defence wasn't under any pressure on Saturday when I watched it, but they didn't seem that good. Sheffield United were a very ordinary team. They just got 12 men behind the ball. It was one of those horrible, horrible games, and they did it in the, I think, 100 and whatever it was minute they scored to equalise and then win it. The danger man for me, strangely enough, is the guy that at last got a goal. He only got one last year, the Brazilian forward, and he made the other goal. Yeah, and he made the other goal. So he will, I know he'll be up for it anyway, but he might, these things come in three sometimes, don't they? And it's all about confidence, life and football. So he's the one I think we've got to watch. With Son, he hasn't been playing that well. If he was playing that well, he's played well actually all like back in the last season either. If he was on form, and he does miss Kane, I would have played Tommy, because I think Tommy plays him. The other year, he just put him in his pocket. Then we decided to put Holding on him, and we know how that finished. So, I'm very happy if even Tommy plays in that game as well. It's one of those games. You're right what you say, Steve. You're excited but nervous. It's a bit like going into an exam that you've studied for. You think you're good enough. You're really excited. You get there, but you're still the night before. You're so nervous. It's just like that. It's because you know
what your week's going to be like afterwards. That's why.
Well, a bit longer than that.
You're going to get.
It's just that Listen, we know. We're biased, but we know we're much better than them on our day. But we've got to be on our day. No messing around. We've just got to do it. We've got to go from. I think it was a couple of years ago. We were 3-0 up very quickly. Smith Rowe scored. Saka scored.
Yeah.
And Aubameyang scored. I mean, they just couldn't live with us because we didn't play that well second half. Funny enough, we took our foot off the pedal like we normally do. And but we just got. If we go at them, they will not be able to live with us. Their centre half they tell me is a great defender, the Argentinian.
Oh, he's dirty. He's just
isn't he filth? He's filth,
mate. He's similar to Martinez, except for Martinez chops people down because he's got a reputation and he's like 5'2". And Morero is just does silly things. Like he should have got sent off. Remember, he pulled what's his name's hair, and the referee didn't give anything. He pulled
the Chelsea. The other guy is quite good though.
Yeah, the Chelsea.
The new fullback.
That's it. Yeah.
Van der Ven. Oh, sorry.
Van der Ven. The Wolfsburg player.
He's quite good. Ndogi's looks quite decent.
They haven't been tested, Spurs, defensively yet. I don't think they're that good. What I've seen. Also, when you're talking about him, the centre half, he is a little bit selfish because he plays battles against the person he's marking and loses where he is on. He play battles, not worry about the team performance. He'll sacrifice himself. He'll take a chance of getting booked or getting sent off where really he shouldn't do. And it's all about him winning his battle against the forward. And I think he's very strong. Don't get me wrong. He's hard and strong, but he's filthy, and that's his weakness. He doesn't know when to stop.
Look, if he wants to try and get in a battle with some of our players, he's fighting a losing battle because they will get in your head. They know how to play games. They're seasoned professionals now. Even the young ones are smart with those sorts of things. Just send Gabriel up to get involved and he'll sort it out. And you just end up getting sent off. So just don't get involved with those sorts of things, but just know how to play the game.
Is this another game you think that Havertz are playing?
I was just about to ask about Gabriel Jesus. Actually, do you think this is a game? Do you see Jesus starting in this North London derby?
Yeah,
got to start him. The energy.
So. Yeah, he's got to.
Energy. He didn't do that absolutely. He wasn't that great when he came on. He was looking for a foul the whole time. But you've got to play him against Spurs. They got to look over both shoulders when it's on that pitch. He's all over the place. If you've got Trossard playing as well, which seems that he might, probably rather, they link up quite well. But of course, they can both switch to the wing or the centre, and I think it makes a lot of sense. So I'd definitely play Jesus. Eddie, I mean, we really never spoke about the game, did we? The Everton game. Eddie was disappointing. And I know he didn't get a lot of service, but when he did get a bit of service, when Rice who put him in, or won the ball just outside the box. What in the life of me, I didn't know why he took it wider away from goal before he shot and it was blocked. That first touch was not very good, to be quite nice to him. It wasn't a great touch for any footballer, let alone a centre forward, and you can see where the goal is.
Yeah, I think,
and he just didn't seem alive in the box either. He was just like watching the game. That game passed him by for whatever reason. It passed him by.
Yeah, I've got a feeling that some of the Everton players and some of the Everton defenders probably had something to say about Eddie's performance. He wasn't great the other day, but Saka didn't get a tune out of Braithwaite all game. And they doubled up on his
legs off, weren't they? He was chopping him. He got away with murder, that left back.
Yeah, he got away with murder early doors, but then he did calm down a lot, and they doubled up. Mikolenko and Braithwaite was on Saka the whole game. At one point, there was 3 people around Saka every time he had the ball. It was crazy. I couldn't believe it that they sacrificed 3 people to stop Saka from.
So why don't we take advantage of it then, Kieran? We should take.
I don't know. I think we've got to be smarter in those games. We do tactically. We've got to be smarter. We've got to start overlapping a bit more with Ben White or
switching it
around. You've got to do something because
it doesn't help. It doesn't help when Ben White's not getting up there, Kieran. I totally agree with you.
Really don't help. And the thing is,
it doesn't help.
The last season, Ben White was sitting the ball up nicely for the crosses. So I don't know why it's changed. He was getting better at his crosses, drilling them in low, keep hitting them at the back post, nice floaters. But it's just a shame we
I
can't.
think I've
players
got a
can head up.
theory. I've just thought about it with Ben White. If he's thinking now, if he suddenly does all what you want him to do, get up there with Saka and put beautiful crosses in, Southgate might want to pick him, and he don't want that, does he?
He done his best to get out of the last squad.
You do not want to be in Southgate's England team, do you?
I'll tell him, I've been watching him like quite a lot.
Oh, that's Ben White. Didn't know what Steve had to say there. Cut him off completely. Or was that Tommy Asser on the other end of the line?
He's got to get back in 25 seconds, isn't he, Kieran? Otherwise, you won't let him back. That's the new
yeah,
rule
it
for
is.
Arsenal
He's got
teams.
5, 4, 3, 2.
We're the only team that
1.
gets counting our second. How many seconds to take for a corner?
Unfortunately,
you got
Steve,
to, you know,
we haven't made it. Let's quickly start. Goes to the comment section.
Mate.
Jason's got to start the game if he's close to full fitness. Spurs, I think, will have a go at us. Should be space for him. Big games, big players have to start. I agree.
Yep. Yeah, definitely.
It's a perfect game for him. You're speaking about Romero. He will give him an absolute torrid time. He will not let him rest until he's got nothing left in the tank. And you can see penalties being won. Look, there's a lot of talk about this fullback, the new young fullback they got. We've not seen him come up against someone like Gabriel Jesus, Trossard, Saka. So it'd be interesting to see how he deals with them. Steve, what was you saying before you went?
No, it was just on when you were talking about Ben White. I was just saying I think he's just been told not to go forward for some reason because he hasn't been doing it at all. The one time that we did do it against Everton, we scored.
Yeah.
So it's a strange.
We seem to do it towards the end of the games. Yeah, I don't know. But make sure you join us straight after the game tomorrow for after the PSV Eindhoven game in the Champions League. Let us know what you think of the game. Get your player ratings in and have your say as well. Thank you for everyone who's joined us tonight. Thank you, Big Mr. K. Thank you, Russ, and thank you, Galvo. New there. Make sure you press that like and subscribe. Hopefully. Thanks for joining us, Steve, Melvin, and Jerome.
Thank you. Thanks very much, Kieran. Very nice. Very
Melvin's
good.
at the game tomorrow, so make sure you go and give Melvin a follow. Follow his match day reporting. I'm sure he's going to give you the latest updates straight from the Emirates Stadium. As I say, quickly, go on, Russ, because you're a regular. Spurs have had the easiest start and have made harder work than they should have. We can do them. I agree. Nice one. I agree. They've had the easiest start and made the most noise about their start. And they had to come from behind against Brentford to get a draw, and then they had to come from behind and with 2 minutes in the 8th minute, the 10th minute of injury time against Sheffield United to get a win. So I hold my judgment on Tottenham until they've.
We've got to teach him a lesson. Time to teach him a lesson.
Time to shut him up.
Time to shut him up. Performance, not them. Don't worry about them. Worry about our performance.
Thank you, everyone who's joined us tonight. Peace out, people. Stay safe and wash your hands.